Hello friends, we are on day 10 of our pantry meals, and as you can see, I made a turkey, potatoes, and carrots, and we will be eating off of this probably most of the week, but we are having this for dinner tonight. I'm going to get some of the juices out of the bottom, make a little bit of gravy, and we will be eating really good. Of course, now that dinner is finished, I picked all the turkey off the bones, and I have the bones and all my vegetable scraps here in, this is my roaster actually, because the turkey was too big for my crock pot. So we're going to put this on low and slow overnight and get all that goodness out of all the vegetables and the bones and the chicken skin or turkey skins and all that good stuff. So we will make a few more meals out of this as well. My friends, we are back. Tonight I'm doing something else with that turkey that I made. And this recipe, you don't even have to have the meat in it. It is going to be a very basic cottage cheese Alfredo sauce. You heard me right. We are cutting the calories. We're not using heavy cream. And we are way pumping up the protein than we would normally get. In my little mixer here, I have 2 cups of, this is 1% fat cottage cheese. The nice thing about this, there is 48, almost 50 grams of protein in just this alone. To that, I'm adding 3 tablespoons of the inexpensive Parmesan cheese. This is optional, but it does make the flavor more in line. Okay, you can add what your heart desires. I'm just using 3 tablespoons again to cut some of the calories. In that, I'm going to add some garlic powder. My garlic powder is clumpy, so I'm probably just going to finish that off. Well, not too much, okay? And I'm going to add some onion powder. You could add any seasonings you like with this. These are what I like. And I like a pretty good amount, right? Now, all I'm going to do right now, I'm going to use my stick blender and I'm going to blend this together. All right, I have my cheeses blended up, and you can see it's very thick right now. Don't worry about it, because the next ingredient is, well, very, very inexpensive. It is some of the leftover pasta water from when you boil your noodles, which those are going to go in. I have my heat off, by the way, because I'm going to need to temper this before it's done, and it'll thin out some of this a little bit too. So I'm just scraping this in here while I'm getting ready to cook my pasta. So make however many servings you're going to need. This should make at least, I mean, we use a cup of pasta, so it's going to make a lot of pasta here. I'm going to make probably 4 or 5 servings because I eat 1 and the guys eat a little bit more than I do. All right, let me show you over here. There's my pasta. It's cooked, just cooked, because it's going to take a minute for me to finish this off. So I'm turning that off. I'm going to turn my sauce back on. Now that turkey and the mushrooms were already heated through. I have this on a lower heat because I'm not really having to cook this a whole lot. I'm going to take my ladle and I'm going to add some of this hot pasta water to my pan here. Okay, this is going to thin this down. I'm going to put it back here a little bit. It'll help warm up what's underneath. And my ladle holds about a cup, so I'm going to add about half of that. And I'm going to stir this in so that I can temper this down. You don't want it to look curdled. I'm just basically using this water. It binds it together. As you know, you use pasta water to bind your sauces together, but it'll thin it down at the same time. When you get it about the consistency you want, then you can start adding your pasta directly to this pan. And I'm not going to throw out that water. I'm going to just move my pasta to this pan, okay? See, look at how that little bit has just helped it thin down a bit. Now, the nice thing with this particular dish, if you don't have, like I have leftover turkey And I'm using some mushrooms that I rehydrated that I had dehydrated a few years ago. Say that fast a couple of times. And so that's just what I'm using. If you don't have it, you could make this a broccoli Alfredo. If you don't have Parmesan cheese, or you want to make it a little bit different, add mozzarella cheese. It won't technically be an Alfredo without the Parmesan, but it'll still taste really good. So this could be a meatless meal if you want it to be. That's all up to you. I wish I had a pair of tongs. That would make this a lot easier. But I'm just going to, you can see I didn't drain it ahead of time, so it'll thin it down just a little bit more. I'm going to stir this up together, and it's done. If I wanted, I could add peas. I could add, like I said, I would have added broccoli. I could have added all kinds of good stuff to this. It's thickened up a little bit again, so I'm just going to keep stirring it a little bit till everything melts together and it all comes together into a nice sauce. Okay, I just wanted to show you how it came together. It was looking a little lumpy there for a second, I understand, but I had to add a little more pasta water. Everything's been warmed through, and now we have a nice sauce for our Alfredo here. Now it's just a matter of dishing it up, and dinner is served. And so I still have over a pound of that turkey left that I made this week, and we've already eaten it as a turkey meal twice. And then we had the turkey Alfredo, and I had a turkey sandwiches one night. So I want to try to figure out what I'm going to do with this, because I might freeze some. But I have some enchilada sauce that needs to get used up. It's past its best by date. Some tomatoes I canned back in 2021. And I have some soup stock. So I think I'm going to divide this into thirds. And I'm going to make prep it, because I don't have any tortillas. But I'm going to do some turkey enchiladas. I'm going to save some for turkey soup, and the rest is going to be for dinner tonight. And tonight I'm going to do a play on the Kentucky Fried Chicken bowls. So I will show you that once I get that far. But for now, I'm just going to divide this up and start my turkey. I just want to get the flavor in there, because I might have to freeze it. I'm going to put it in the crock pot on low for a little while. I'm going to chop up the rest of this, some for dinner tonight, and then the rest for our soup. But I just want to show you that I'm not letting anything go to waste. So I divided my meat, leftover turkey, roughly in thirds. I put a little bit more in the enchiladas, but I have for dinner tonight. I have some for soup, if that's what I make. I was maybe soup or stew or, something, because I might even can it just so I have it later on. We'll decide. If we get sick of turkey, then I'll just make some turkey soup in a jar, and we'll keep that for another time. And then I have the enchilada. I just put some tomatoes in here because that's a medium to spicy enchilada sauce, and it's a little too much for our taste, so I just added some extra tomatoes. It'll just make a little extra sauce for us. I'm going to turn that on low for just enough so that it gets nice and flavored. And if I haven't decided to use it right away, I'll just put it in the freezer for another night. And that gives us like a week's at least worth of meals off of that one turkey. Plus I had some for lunch a couple of times. I made a turkey salad one day for lunch, and I had turkey sandwiches. We all had turkey sandwiches. So it went pretty far. I really like, especially when you only pay 30 cents a pound, it's nice to have. So there you go. There's little extras, and once I make up my bowls tonight, I'll show you what they look like, because that should be pretty good too. All right, so for dinner tonight, remember I said I was doing a play on the KFC bowls? Well, normally they have mashed potatoes with gravy and fried chicken nuggets on top and corn and things like that. Well, instead, I am using leftover potatoes from dinner. I am making crispy potatoes. You could probably hear my air fryer going in the background. I have my turkey warming up in the gravy, so I'm still getting the, the basics. And then we're going to have corn with it. And, you could add other things as well. But I just thought, I saw a commercial on TV and I hadn't thought of it before. And I thought, what the heck? I've got everything here. Let's do a play on the KFC bowls. And hopefully they'll be pretty good tonight. All right, now it's time to dish up my dinner. And the best part about this is I really didn't have to do much cooking because the potatoes were already cooked, the turkey's already cooked, the gravy was already made. All I had to do is open a can of corn, and dinner came out quite quick today. So I got to dish up some of my potatoes. Save some for the guys. I'm not huge on gravy, so I'm just going to kind of strain out a good portion of turkey here. Get a little closer. Put that with my potatoes. That gets a little gravy on it, but I don't like mine sopping in gravy. It doesn't exactly look like a KFC bowl because I don't have mashed potatoes, but I like crispy potatoes better anyway. And then a nice, let me get that in there, spoonful of corn. And if I wanted to, I could put a little sour cream on top, but I don't want to. So there's my dinner. Again, not beautiful, but I bet you it's going to taste good. Just wanted to tell you guys that the boys got bored with eating turkey for a couple meals for like 5 days. So last night we had some of the lasagna that I had prepared before and frozen. And tonight I'm canning a bunch of the leftover turkey, as you can see, into a soup starter. And I have a separate video for that I'll show you. I'll post later. And here I have some stew meat that I found in my freezer. I had cut up a bunch of carrots and celery. I left them in sticks, but then I forgot about the stew. So, of course, I have some of those in my crock pot along with some onion. And this has been salt and peppered. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle some flour on it and get this browned up a little bit and get my stew going because I want that for dinner tonight. I want to throw this stew together. So I browned, this is the second batch of meat that I browned because my pan's a little small here. Dump that in my crock pot. If I can get it out. And I have some of that turkey stock that I was canning left. So I'm going to use that instead of beef stock. Just going to deglaze my pan. This is where all your wonderful meat flavor is going to come from, because I brown that stew meat really nice. Just want to get all those little bits off the bottom, because that's where all your flavor is. That's going to go in the pot as well. I'll probably deglaze it one more time, since I'm going to need the liquid anyway. And then, as you can see, I have some of this left over. I went through my cabinets and I found a half of a packet of onion soup mix. So I'm going to dump that in if I can get it out of the packet. Don't always use a whole one, so that'll just add a little more flavor. If I had gravy left over from beef, I use that as part of the broth. You'd be surprised what you can use in these things. So I still have one more thing of broth left if I need it from my turkey. And I have my pressure canner going with a second load. I found some more turkey left over in my fridge from the Alfredo I made. So I will actually have 5 jars of the turkey starter, and then I will have 3 to 4 jars of the extra turkey broth, because there's no more meat left. And then we'll have our stew for dinner tonight. So that was a full another week, probably a little more than a week left of, we ate off the turkey for 5 days, and then we had lasagna and this. So I'm getting to the end of March in my pantry challenge. Just wondering what you guys think of the meals I've made so far. And we'll take a peek at our stew a little bit later. And then I'll get this video up before I post how I did the turkey. All right, while I was cleaning up, while my stew is cooking, I still had 2 cups of the turkey broth left over, and I'm not going to can that by itself because then it's just a waste of time. So I think I'm going to make some rice for dinner tomorrow. I can make fried rice, and you like your rice to be at least a day old, so this should work out pretty good, and I'll get some good flavor from that turkey broth. I'll use it up, so there would be absolutely no waste on that. And I'm ahead prepping for tomorrow, and my kitchen's going to be cleaned up before we even have dinner, so I won't have to hardly do anything after dinner tonight. And I'll have tonight's meal and several meals in the future planned and tomorrow. So not too bad. All right, here is my beautiful beef stew. I tasted it for seasoning, add a little bit of salt, and I'm letting it cool off a little bit while I make some Jiffy corn muffin mix that I found in the pantry that I bought on sale for 25 cents after Christmas. So this is a good, healthy, inexpensive meal for us tonight. And I hope your meal is good tonight. You guys have a wonderful night. Let me know which meal this week was your favorite down in the comments below. And you guys have a wonderful night.